Hey Gear Seekers, I'm Nick. You may remember this PC here. This is my gaming PC, and it's no secret that I absolutely love to game. And recently I built Claire a PC in the Fractal North, and it got me thinking. I was like, you know what? I really love the Fractal North, and I just can't get over thinking about it. So what we're gonna do today is something I've been planning to do for quite a while. This one right here, you see this? This is going into here, but it might be a little bit tricky to make everything fit. So what we're gonna do is you're going to come and build with me. Let's build. This video is brought to you by VIPSCDKey.com. You install Windows and you see the watermark of death. You don't need to fork out a couple $100 for a key. You can grab one from today's video sponsor. From VIPSCDKey.com for a tenth of the price, and you can use our code GEAR to get 25% off. How good's that? That takes that already cheap Windows key and makes it even cheaper. You place your order, bingo bango, you've got your key on your orders page, you chuck that key into the activation screen and you're good to go. No more watermark of death. Use code GEAR for 25% off, link in the description. On with the video. But before we can start building, we need to tear it down and pull apart. So this is my gaming PC in the LandCool 216. Absolutely love this case, but I've had it for a year and I kind of have this thing that a lot of people get where they're like, hey, I want a new case just for the feel of something, right? I mean, everyone has their things that they like, and I love cases. That's why we review them so much, but I never get to have my own cases. And the Fractal North has just been like, dude, I want you in my life. And I'm like, I want you in my life. And we just kissed. All right, first things first, the behemoth is coming out. Here we go. I love this little GPU support stand that Asus makes. This whole PC is like a tough build. When I originally built it for the video that we did, it was like a sponsored thing with Asus. It had a 4080 in here. That GPU is not in here. This is a 4090. I wanted a bit more juice. You know, I play Call of Duty, frames win games and all that stuff. Oh, this does have a button. Yes, here we go, baby. Look at the size of this chunker. Absolute behemoth. We've got a different camera operator today. You guys may remember Andrew, link in the description to us building him his gaming PC. What do you reckon, Andrew? Should we get the motherboard out?
Yep.
Sure?
Yep.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Are you sure? Just do it. All right, let's yank her out. We're gonna change the power supply to one with a right angle 12 volt connector because I feel like this one here is just not gonna fit. All right, out comes the motherboard. I get questions quite often as to why do I build with PCs standing upright? And the answer is it's easier to film. I don't know if it's easier for Andrew to film, but it's easier to film. Is it easier for you to film like this?
It's the first one I've done, it's all right.
Look at that, first day on the job, chucked in the deep end. Ah! I got cut. That's gonna bleed in a bit. You're getting sliced up because you're going too fast, buddy. Ready, spaghetti. Grab it by the cooler. Give it a bit of a wiggle. Oh, okay. I'm interested to see what the thermal paste looks like after a year. I'm guessing you guys would be pretty interested in this as well. I'll put all of the specs in a PC part pick list down below if that's something you wanted to see, but this gaming PC has been running so well since I built it. Actually looks a bit worse than I thought it would after a year. It looks like fractal patterns. That's fairly good thermal paste coverage. Yeah, so I do know what I'm talking about. Let's clean it up and do it all again. I'm gonna use this stuff, it's called Thermal Elixir, and I've been using this quite a bit lately. It's really good, I recommend. I will put a link to this in the description. Maybe a bit hard to get in Australia, but we'll see what happens. 2 tricks of the trade. Alcohol, makeup wipes. This is very cheap. This isn't, but if you're building heaps of PCs, get yourself some of these makeup pads. I love the smell of alcohol on a Tuesday morning. Maybe you shouldn't do it like that. Scrub-a-dum-dum. Scrub-a-dum. It's nice to give your cooler a clean every now and again. I think a year is a nice interval, and it's been a year. Usually I'd just let it go for like 3 years if it's the computer that I'm using all the time. Dub-a-dub-dub. Oh, I forgot to mention what CPU this is. This is the Intel Core i7-13700KF. It doesn't have an iGPU. I do stream on this PC though, so maybe I might swap out the CPU at a later date. Who knows what's coming? Nobody knows what's coming in the future. The way I recommend applying thermal paste for these LGA 1700 CPUs with the long IHS is exactly like this. And this is how I got that thermal paste spread before. Someone in the comments is gonna be like, oh, that's terrible thermal paste spread. No, you're wrong. That's exactly how you want it. And we'll just give you a little bit more there. And that should be more than plenty to cool this CPU. This one's a good one actually. This one doesn't get too hot, which we're quite lucky with. This system, yeah, it just doesn't get hot. I love it. Quite obviously, Fractal North for my own gaming PC transplant. And this is the mesh version for a simple reason. My original gaming PC had no RGB because I'm now a part of, hashtag it with me ladies and gents, anti-RGB crew. I just invented that. That's now a thing. It's now canon in the Gear Seekers universe. Gonna do the same fan layout that I had in the LAN Cool 2160. This has got 2 included 140mm fans up the front, and I'm gonna put a single exhaust, nothing at the top. It makes the amount of hot air that exhausts out the top less, which I like, and it still has the same amount of thermal output though, and it just puts the air elsewhere, but the same amount of airflow. Hope that makes sense to you. The mesh side panel is nice as well because it pulls nice cold air in for the GPU, and that's what I want as well. This system never got hot before. I'm talking the GPU temperatures would max out at like 55 degrees Celsius, so we'll see what happens. I guess we should start this. I'm scared because the measurements for this are very, very tight, and on paper they will fit, but in reality, is a different story. There's a few pre-flight things we need to do with the Fractal North. You can check out our full review of the Fractal North that we released last year when this case came out, but essentially the big ass 4090 that we got, it's just not gonna fit. So we need to remove this panel here, slide it out of the way so it fits. Also, the back panel will need to come off as well. There's some things that I do before we film. I removed all of the stuff in here, which is not gonna need, and the power supply bracket's gone. And Bob's your uncle's, cousin's, mum's brother. This is the moment of truth, in case you didn't believe. Cooler easily clears. I don't like the saggy sags on that though. This is gonna look so cool. 0 RGB, no bling, none of that stuff. A PC for grown-ups who like to play games and scream it. I think I'm not regretting my decision now. Does that make sense? As mentioned, I'm putting in a single rear fan in the case, no fans out the top. It's the Noctua NH-D15. It is a new fan, I think, from Noctua. This is the chromax version as well, so it's all blacked out. The power supply on the Fractal North is rear loading. Wow, that sounds way worse when I say it out loud.
That's what she said.
Oh, anyway, it goes in the back. Yep. Well, it goes in the bottom as well. Well, it goes in the back door, and essentially, yeah, it slides in. This is the Cooler Master G something 3, 850 watt power supply. This one should do the trick. The only concern I've got is, you're probably seeing this on your screen right now. The 12 volt high power connector is a 450 watt connector. I came from a 600 watt cable. It's gonna be fine, we'll make it work. Slides up the rear, slots itself in, goes in. You don't have to do anything to massage it in, it just slides right in. I know it's gonna go in because I already test fitted it, because otherwise this would be a stupid video. Whoop. Just like bang it as it goes in. It's a GPU support thing. Oh, that looks really nice. Our right angled 12 volt high power connector, which is only rated for 450 watts, which I'm a little bit concerned about. So if I decide to change the power supply later, it's gonna be all good, but that looks so clean. There's been a little bit of a plot twist. I test fitted this 600 watt 12 volt high power cable and it fits. Like, it's tight, but it's not gonna bend it to the point where it's gonna be a problem. So the Cooler Master power supply that I installed previously is coming out, and the Corsair power supply that we had in the original build is going in. Makes it feel so much better that it's a power supply that I've already used. I never look at the back of the PC, and neither should you. I've added a single Velcro strap in just for the 24 pin power cable, and just some other random cables. But cable management in my own PCs is not a problem because if I'm going to change something, it's going to be easy. And I know what everything is because I have a photographic memory with these kind of weird things. It's not terrible, but it's also not amazing. Ah, the time I've been waiting for to put all the panels back on and see what the dealio is with everything. Not heaps of fans, using the stock front fans. It just looks really, really nice. I'm so happy with this. And the moment of truth will be the mesh side panel to make everything tie together nicely. Look at that. Gorgeous. Or rather, don't look at it, because there's nothing to look at. I love it. All right, moment of truth. I always freak out when it's my own computer that I'm gonna be using for stuff, and it sounds like it's gonna, yeah, it's working, okay. No issues, no wuckers, all good. I knew it was gonna work. Everything's all good, beautiful. There you go, new gaming computer's transplanted. I guess you wanna see it in a different light, right? Me too. If you're interested in all the hardware used in this PC, I'll put a PC part picker list down below, and I'll link to the original build video so you can see some of that, but obviously the main difference here is different case and different GPU. I'm really, really happy with how this turned out. It looks excellent. I didn't have to do anything exotic to get anything to work. Everything just fit. On paper, I was a little bit concerned about the CPU cooler, but it's got way more clearance than I thought. The other thing I was worried about as well was that 12-volt high power cable, and it turned out that was also fine, and there was no issue fitting it with this one in here. And the Cooler Master power supply that I was going to use, the whatever that was, the GX3 whatever, the included 12-volt high power connector had that right angle connector. The problem with that is it was only a 450 watt rated cable, and this is a 600 watt rated cable. I don't want to have to change things if they're already working. It just doesn't make sense. And after me looking at the clearances, after all the hardware went in, I just thought to myself, you know what, this is going to fit without any problems. And there are zero clearance issues, and the cable is at the bendiness of how it is when the panel's on now. I just pulled it off so I could look in, but yeah, you get it, right? Yeah, happy. Very happy. I'm gonna go play some games. And if you like the music you heard here, I make all the music. It's available by clicking that join button right down there down below. Once again, thank you so very much for watching. I'm your boy Nick with Gear Seekers. If I missed something, you peek, we seek. Yeah, let me know if I missed anything. I'm not gonna talk about performance or anything with this PC because it's a 13700KF and a 4090. You know how it performs. All right, thanks for watching.